What's up, everybody? I just wanted to come and say thank you to everyone who came to the live show on Saturday. We had such a good time. We laughed. We probably cried. I'm not actually sure if we laughed or cried because I'm recording this on Friday before the show, but seriously, thanks to everybody who came. Today marks the beginning of Oscar season for Leaving the Theater, which means we're going to start covering the Oscar Best Picture nominees. That's right, all 10 films that were nominated for Best Picture at this year's Academy Awards. Now, in the feed, we've already covered Everything Everywhere All at Once, Avatar, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. We'll have today's episode and another episode in a couple of weeks covering 2 more nominees. And the week before the Oscars, we'll have the first ever Leaving the Theater Best Picture Roundup. In that episode, we'll review the last 4 films, and I'll tell you what films I'm rooting for to win and what I think is actually going to win which awards. So for my dedicated film nerds, and I include myself among you, you won't want to miss that. All right, let's get to today's movie, which is Banshees of Inisherin. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm on the couch. All right, this is Ronald, and I am on the couch after seeing The Banshees of Inisherin. The Banshees of Inisherin, written and directed by Martin McDonagh, starring Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Kerry Condon, Barry Keoghan, Gary Lydon, Pat Shortt, and Sheila Flitton. And of course, for a complete cast listing, you can go to the link in our show notes. Also, this movie was produced by Graham Broadbent, Peter Czernin, and Martin McDonagh. That's important because, of course, this is one of our Oscar Best Picture nominees. I also have to tell you what it's nominated for. It is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Colin Farrell, Best Supporting Actor, Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan, Best Supporting Actress, Kerry Condon, Best Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and Best Original Score. All right, so the plot of this movie is basically it tells the tale of a friendship between 2 people played by Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, in which Brendan Gleeson wakes up one day and decides he no longer wants to be friends with Colin Farrell. That is the plot of the movie. The rest of the movie follows that, the happenings of the interactions between these 2 men and the people that are around them. Now, this movie, early on, I want to say in the first half, I was very into this movie. It felt like a mystery in all the ways that I've said. It draws you in. It makes you want to watch it, all of that. And you really want to know what's going on. Where is this going? And for that reason, I mean, well, let's talk about some good things about this movie. I think the acting is good. I think the writing is good. I think the ways in which they're interacting with one another is good. It reminded me in some cases early on, like a Wes Anderson film. But then it kind of falls away from that relatively quickly. And it's pretty to look at. Like, they're in Ireland, they're on the cliffs. There's lots of, vibrant colors. I like the interactions between everyone. It's like pretty to look at. It's a period piece set in 1923, but it doesn't really feel like, it doesn't feel very 1923-ish, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like the timing of it is nearly as important as the relationships. Okay, with all of that being said, oh man, I'm going to have to read like 30 think pieces to really understand what I just watched, because I don't really feel like much happened in this movie. I know there's a metaphor there. I know somebody probably read it. I know somebody has a bunch of thoughts about it, but I'm going to have to read through those to really think that I can appreciate this movie, because on its face, I think it took a big swing, and for me, it missed in a very specific way. with Oscar movies, I feel like there's always a tendency for these movies to come out, for people to watch them, and for them to have conversations with one another that kind of like dice up the art in a way that encourages this, nuanced conversation and this reasoned, we're like, I feel like sometimes Oscar movies are nominated for people who think they're smart to be able to talk with other people who think they're smart and talk about what they saw that no one else saw. And in this movie, and that's exactly why I read think pieces, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get in on these conversations and see what y'all saw. And maybe I can go back to this movie, watch it again and understand it. But for me, for a movie that is largely about a relationship between two men, I think I might have missed it. I just think I might have missed it. And that's kind of generally my problem with Oscar movies anyway, is that it kind of requires something of the audience to be like, well, you just didn't get it. And I don't like when I don't get it, because it feels like there's two parts of it. The one part is that I not get it because I don't think that you did a good enough job explaining it or making your actual point, or am I just not like looking deep into the art enough? That being said, there's parts of this movie that I think really did affect me. There was parts towards the end where a couple things happened and I started to tear up. But when the movie ended, I don't know that I understood what I was being told. Like I like a movie where, and it doesn't necessarily need to present the moral up front or any of that, but I like a movie that doesn't just make me feel, but makes me leave in a way that I continue to think and kind of grow. And I just feel like I missed it. And that, for me, in my mind, I'm already rating it lower in my mind, because I'm like, I don't think I'm a dumb man, but obviously there's something I didn't grasp. Now, I guarantee y'all, I'm going to read like 40 think pieces as soon as I'm done. And the whole premise of leaving the theater on the couch, the whole premise is that I'm giving y'all my feedback immediately after watch this. I just turned this movie off. I just turned it off. And so like right now, typically what I would do, like if I weren't reviewing a movie, I would sit down and read 40 think pieces. But my friend Jess pointed out to me, it was after we saw Tenet, she was like, yo, Ron, if we have to like go read about the movie or watch it 6 times, was it actually good? And she brings up a good point, because I'm like, with Tenet, I did watch it 7 times and I did eventually think it was good. And now I watch it and really enjoy all the little things that come out as I watch it. I really do enjoy that. But Tenet is a different movie. It's an action movie. There's a lot more puzzly things going on. So it's not that it's bad. Like I said, I think if we go down through the nominations, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, I think they did a brilliant job acting, both of them. So I think they both should have got nominated. Both Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I thought they both did a fantastic job. And I need to go through the rest of the field, but I don't see them robbing anyone else by them both being in that category. And Best Supporting Actress, Kerry Condon, she did fine. I don't think that she was particularly better than anybody else. Like, she was good. It wasn't that she did a bad job acting. I just didn't know that how much she contributed to like the whole of this movie. So I know this movie has something to do with grief. I know it has something to do with death and war. But I feel like when I got to the end, I thought there was going to be kind of more like, moments for me. And there really wasn't. And it's hard for me. I struggle because I'm like, well, what happened here? And to be honest, I want everyone to know I'm very open to someone being like, Ronald, it's actually about so-and-so. And I'm here for that. I am. But again, if I didn't get that from watching it, or if there's more information that I needed in order to get that, then I don't know how effective this movie was. So it's definitely not going to be my pick for Best Picture, but that doesn't mean I don't think it deserves to be there. If Avatar is nominated, then honestly anything can be nominated. But I'm thinking about my frontrunner being Everything Everywhere All at Once. And when I left Everything Everywhere All at Once, I felt like they landed the plane. I knew where I was going. It felt clear, even though this was a movie, like Everything Everywhere All at Once was a movie that wasn't necessarily spoon fitting directly things to you. It was leaving room for things to be like superfluous and fun and kind of like undefined, but also it was making a point with the main plot. And I feel like with this one, I didn't get that nearly as much. It has best original score. I thought the score was fantastic. And it's funny, I always know when a score is good when I'm still thinking about it after it's over. And I was thinking about the score a lot, the ways in which they set things up and the ways in which I just really enjoy what a good score does to a movie. I remember before Black Panther won Best Original Score, I was thinking about the score as much as the film itself. I'm like, the score is actually doing a lot. It's really doing a lot for my emotions right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this guy's going to win Best Director either, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. Yeah. So with that, I think I would give it, I'm just going to give it 3 of 5 stars. It's hard for me I think if I understood it more, I probably would go as high as 3.5, 3.75. And I think the ceiling on this for me would have been 4. But it's just, I don't like leaving feeling this way. I don't like feeling like, well, let me go read some think pieces so I can get what just happened. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am. So yeah, watch it, if you want to, or don't. It's available at HBO Max and might be in theaters now because the Oscars are coming up. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of OhitsBigRon Studios. Thomas Tyra of Bias Studios mixes the show. Thank you, Tom. Show art from Heather Wilder. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. For more information about the Banshees of Inisherin, check out our show notes. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OhitsBigRon. That's at OhitsBigRon. You can find out more about this show and other OhitsBigRon Studio shows by following us on Instagram at OhitsBigRon Studios and on Twitter at OhitsBigRonStew. That's STEW. Leaving the Theater will be back soon, but until then, I'll be here on the couch. Check, Ronald. Check. You know what it is? It's Ronald. It's Ronald. That's who it is. Check. This is Ronald. Check. Okay.